because I did go back. We were talking about Spider Noir. We are now on episodes 4, 5, and 6. We did
Yes.
episodes 1, 2, and 3 in the previous video, but now we're on 4, 5, and 6. I did go back and watch them, and like really focus on them this time, and did the back and forth. Actually, took your advice, took back and forth with the black and white and the color.
Yes.
Yeah, I do just really enjoy this show. I know we've stated over and over again that the focus on story with, and it just happens to be centered around a superhero, is it's just really good.
It's refreshing.
It's like I'm not searching for the story in it. It's there. And I'm
Yes.
like delightfully surprised with all the Easter eggs, if that like kind of makes
Yes.
sense. Yeah. Yeah. So 4, 5, and 6. So 4 deals with the fact that Kat kind of like reveals to Ben that she's the one behind the assassination attempt. All the while, her boyfriend-ish, Flint, over
I don't
here,
even think they know what they are.
their situationship.
Yes.
He's decided to work for Silvermane again. I don't know if like just because his butt hurt or whatever. Robbie and Janet interview Lincoln at the office. She kind of gets him to soften up playing cards and gets him to talking. Silvermane uses Flint to intimidate the mayor
Yes.
when the chief stands him up in order to, and then is not caught with the mayor, but was seen with the mayor. It kind of really rattles Silvermane into pitching a fit. And then kind of Ben takes Kat back to his place and they have a heart to heart, and he tells her about Ruby and kind of, why doesn't give her the full story, but
No.
tells her about Ruby and losing her. And then they hear that a criminal is attacking the Diamond District and they both think it's Flint. She runs off, is trying to get Ben to help, but he's like, it seems like your problem.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and you kind of know where this is going to head, that he's going to
Right.
out as soon as she leaves, which is what happens. And instead of it being Flint, we are met with Dirk Layden, who is Megawatt. Although, like, again, I thought he was the same thing with
Electro. Yeah.
Electro, right? Because he has the ability to absorb and release electricity. So you're like thinking, well, of course this is, but it ends up being Megawatt,
Yeah.
And the spider shows up, and instantly Kat is suspicious. Like, she keeps looking at him, he keeps looking at her.
Yes.
Like, the spider is getting his butt handed to him by Megawatts over and over again, until he shuts down the power, and where he wears out the more and more he uses it. Morris jumps in and is using that opportunity to get some pictures
Very
of him.
sneaky.
Robbie Robertson is highly enjoying that moment.
Yes.
And this is when Kat returns to Ben's apartment, where he is not caught a second of sleep at this point.
Even when he goes into his little spider stance, he can't fall asleep.
Right. Yeah. He just cannot fall asleep. And she pulls instantly. What I thought of was the Superman 2, where Lois Lane jumps into.
Superman 2, the Spider-Man animated series, Mary Jane did it to Spider-Man. Every time I'm just like, y'all gotta, well, because one of these days it's gonna be like,
Well, it didn't really
oh
work out
man.
that well for Superman, for Lois Lane, because Clark Kent absolutely 100% did not fall into it. He just stayed Clark Kent and
That
offered,
is true.
rescued her from the river. But he reveals himself as the spider to her when he catches her. Episode 5, we have that he finally tells her that how he got his powers, that he was in this POW camp. Germans are experimenting on the way of course they were. He was bitten by man spider, which they never say that, but it is man.
Yes.
Robbie gets his job back at the Daily Bugle because he is using the story about the spider and Megawatt's battle. And that's when they kind of discover that, well, Ben and or Robbie and Janet discover that all of these villains have been seeing Dr. Faber and their powers have amplified. And apparently, the more they're using their powers, the more they're dying from
Yes.
it. So they go to Robbie and Ben hatch a plan to go confront Dr. Faber, but he talks to Dr. Faber while Ben is stealing the files. And that's when they really discover that the more they use their powers, they are dying. And that's when Robbie wants to report on this, but Ben tells him, hey, let me give Kat a head up about Flint. And now Silvermane in the meantime is recruiting Megawatt. They break him out of prison. Silvermane goes to Ben and warns him to have the spider stay out of the business. Don't, like, I know you're friends with him, but you need to tell him to back off. Ben and Kat hatch a plan where they're like, fine, let's just leave the city. We know everything about each other. Let's leave. He's so giddy, happy, happy, happy.
Yeah.
But Flint and Kat do have a conversation about her attempting to kill Silvermane without his help. He kind of pitches a fit, almost kills her or severely injures her, and Lincoln saves her, and then Lincoln tells Kat, the key to us not dying, we believe, or at least Dr. Faber believes, is the spider. And that's when Kat turns on Ben at the end of it and tells Dr. Faber, I know who the spider is. It's still handy.
Ugh. It's not even like a full criticism because I absolutely loved this show. The the weirdness between the three of them,
Yeah.
it was fine, got a little weird and annoying, but Sandman's character is the one that annoyed me the most because like Kat just not knowing what she wants and she loves him, but I kind of love you. It's a fling. Like, you know what? I've seen that a million times. Sandman having no idea what he wants. I'm jealous, but I'm not jealous, but I am. I'm going to almost kill you, not on purpose, but I'm also not going to try and save you when this stage almost come crushes you. Like,
Right.
and I just it like again, it's not like it wasn't keeping me up at night, but as it
Right.
went on, I'm like, what are we doing here?
Right. But it very much plays into the femme fatale. I mean, that's
For
what
sure, for sure.
that type of character does in those noir films is basically is she is leading him down a dark path. She is going to turn on him. She is not
Casablanca style.
right. This is not a heroine kind of
Right.
like, love story. And I mean, and in Flint's defense is he knows he's dying.
True. Very
And he's
true.
like, I
And
do
at this
love
point, he
you.
has no hope of like a cure.
Right. And he's like, I love you. And I'm like, I am keeping you alive because I haven't told Silvermane
Yeah.
that you did try to kill him. But like, yeah, of course it's complicated.
You're right.
It's supposed to be, right? So in the meantime, we also learned that Dr. Faber, I mean, we when we see Robbie and Ben in Dr. Faber's hospital or her office, we learned that she has an associate called Ogden. We learned in 6 that Ogden is in fact Freckles, her son.
Yes.
But because of his mutation, it has aged him significantly. Because the best line was, I was in the war.
Civil War?
The Civil War. So Ogden shows up in Ben's apartment and is trying to appeal to him, saying like, "Hey, we need your help. You are the key to this. We need to figure out what's going on." And of course, Ben turns him down and is like, "Seems like you problem. I'm heading out of town." And obviously, then Ogden drugs him, and they take him to the lab where they can experiment on him. They take his blood. Nothing is found any different in the blood. But when they finally do, I believe it's his liver organ, his
Yeah.
his liver, that she kind of takes, I guess, a little biopsy of it and figures out that there is a cure for whatever is ailing all the rest of these guys. This is why he's able to stay stable, and these guys are fast forwarding towards death. She creates an antidote. In the meantime, Silvermane and the guys show up because Robbie's story has been published and everybody now knows where the lab, which is crazy because I don't, was the lab ever mentioned?
No, the hospital was. I don't believe the lab was. The only thing I could think of was at some point, but no, because that wouldn't make any sense. I thought maybe she took Sandman and Tombstone there
Right.
to the first levels of it. But if that's the case, they wouldn't have needed to be published. I mean, maybe they didn't know that that was a connection until
Yeah,
the paper came out.
I just thought it was wild because I don't really like the laboratory was different than the hospital, I
Correct.
believe.
Correct.
So like I don't know how Robbie I don't remember like again, I could probably go back and watch it. Maybe it was mentioned, but I just thought it was weird because I don't ever remember the laboratory. And then just all of a sudden these guys just know where it was and
Yeah.
show up. Um, whatever. Before this all kind of happens though, after Dr. Faber creates the antidote, she confesses because at this point Ogden had always believed that his mom was going to operate on Ben, get the antidote, let him go, cure everybody. Ben kind of hints to Ogden, like, mom's never gonna let me go. Like,
Right.
she's a liar. You don't believe everything she says. That confrontation happens between him and his mother. She confesses, like, the plan was always to kill him after this was over. And, I was only focused on saving you, not anybody else. Like, this is the reason all my experiments happened was
Yeah.
just you. And that's when Silvermane and the moons arrive. I have to agree with the new Rockstar's assessment on Dirk Layton
Yes.
Megawatt.
Go ahead. I
And for
agree.
those that don't know, is his the voices, the voice that he uses, the voice characterization that he uses in this is highly annoying. His character in general to me is super annoying. Like, and I guess kind of like
He's the worst type of theater kid from the Noir era.
right, and the fact that like it's wild to me that of all of the goons that Silvermane has under his employ, Megawatt is the one he can't control. Like you would have thought that there would have been a conversation going into this, like, we're not gonna kill the doctor.
I I could not agree more. I very like at first I thought, okay, this guy's really leaning in and it's established like he wants to be an actor, so it's like very over the top, sure. But
Sure.
as it went on, I don't need a Shakespearean speech every time you open your mouth. Like after the fifth time, I'm like, all right, bro, we get it. And
Right.
then just like the inflection and the accent or whatever, like it got old.
It
But
really
then
started.
but
Yeah.
then like as a character, it also was like you're coming in at the tail end of the operation and you're just a loose cannon.
Right.
Like I get that you're a superpowered being, but Silvermane would have put you in the ground a long time ago, I feel like.
Right, right. And like the
You're
whole
ruining
interaction
plans.
between them because eventually after so many of the goons invade the facility and the guys find out that she had been experimenting on all of the other mutated soldiers and failed and they were kind of all there in like these glass tubes like Palpatine style.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought.
They kind of lose it, but um Megawatt is the one that loses the most. He um, electrocutes Ogden, and I forgot who Dr. Faber shot by. It might be by him.
It might have been by him, but he like punched him or something. And this was after he de-aged, and
Right,
the other guys recognized him. Megawatt didn't care and shocked him anyway. So it's like, oh, so you're completely fine with like killing your comrades who were all POWs with you. Like
right.
you completely lost it. And the worst thing he got from Silvermane was, you need to learn some self-control. Like, no, you're dying in that bunker with the rest of them. Like, clearly, my plan to take over cannot move forward with you. And again, I realize you're trying to amass an army of super beings,
Right.
but if you've got Tombstone and Sandman, like, you should be good. Like,
Right. Exactly right. And then like all he does is like and he like growls as he walks by. It's like, I cannot wait for you to die.
yeah.
Um, so the fire is caught, the laboratory, obviously is set on fire. And we find out that Ben in the meantime has escaped with the antidote. So that's 4, 5, and 6. What are your impressions as far as like now we're like really into the meat of the story, the meat of the crime?
I really enjoyed it. I appreciated that with 2 episodes to go, they kind of revealed a lot. They revealed how he got his powers, which I think was an outstanding deviation from obviously the original story. I thought introducing a third villain was great, even though I ended up not caring for it. And I thought they did a good job moving the story forward, giving us the revelation of Dr. Faber and what she was doing, why she was doing, and they were able to wrap it up. Like we got a little taste of it in the early episode before. Then the next episode was solely focused on them. I didn't need, well, I mean, I get why they did it, but that hallucination scene with Ben didn't need that. Didn't need you being cut open and the spiders all coming out. Like
Oh,
y'all were really flexing your budget, but I was like, I did not need any
no.
of that.
No, I was good. No.
Yeah.
I was already just not good with them cutting him open and us having to watch it while they
Also,
were
yes,
doing
sure, yes.
story. And so I was like, oh, this is just extra level nasty. Thank you for
Yeah.
this.
But
Um,
overall, I appreciated how they tied up that loose end of the story that they had introduced. Like that was a big revelation that they did not save. Like it was added to the build up to the final 2 episodes, and I can really appreciate that. Obviously, bums not bums me out, but it brings it down a little bit just dealing with so much megawatt as you, me, and everyone else agrees. He was annoying, but I thought I appreciated that little segment of 3 episodes. I thought they were really good.
Agreed. Because I mean, like, if you think, like, even just going or just in the 6 that we've dealt with right now, you've gone through a kind of a lot of, I don't say plot holes, but like stories in there that have already kind of been, they've just been moving fast. Like, we find out instantly, like, who hired Addison to kill
Yes.
Silvermane. We deal with Addison's widow, and how that ties into then Winston getting set up and dying, and that like, and then we find out that it's Kat that was the one that hired Addison, and her reasonings for doing it, and we find out how Ben got his powers, and we find out that he was with all the POWs that also all have their powers. That he was there, we get that reveal of him sliding down the wall while they're all getting that picture taken that we've seen
Yeah.
over and over again. It's just it moves at such a good clip with enough explanation. But like, if they ever wanted to do another season of it, whatever, there's enough where you can still expand from it. Um, like you didn't cover everything, but you covered enough to keep the plot moving and the story going, and
100%.
without the audience in general being like, wait a minute, what, we didn't cover this. Like it didn't take a lot to see all the POWs in their beds being experimented on, all flashing this, the praying mantis, the snake, the eel, all of that stuff, and to know then like he gets bit, and that's how he got, and then he starts suffering for a little while, and that now there's a new doctor who's experimenting on them, and the reason she's doing it is because of her son, and the son ties in. Like it moves at such a good clip, but still filling out those holes, so you're not left like wait a minute, we moved on to this before we dealt with this. They're going through the things and dealing with, they're checking them off like, okay, we've got that done, let's move it to, but this is how it moves it forward into the next part.
Yes. And again, like you said last episode and beginning of this episode, it's great storytelling that just happens to be about Spider-Man in the Spider-Man universe. It is not a Spider-Man show, and it's just action, action, web, 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 and a little bit of it is truly a noir murder mystery story. I say murder
Right.
mystery. It's not really like it's not much of a like murder mystery, but like it's a noir mystery that is really well shot, well acted, well told, and the main character happens to be a detective Spider-Man. Like this has been so good.
And think about it, like, so we're going over 4, 5, and 6, and there's only been, oh, out of 4, 5, and 6, there's one episode where there's a spider fight
Yes.
with a villain, and you don't feel like you're lacking in that. Like, you don't feel like, okay, like, well, oh God, now we're dealing with the rest of the story. Like, even though there's only one between him and Megawatt in episode 4, you're not. I mean, and then like in episode 5, you see him use his web, to lower the files, but
We
like,
did see him fight the goons when he kind of interrupted the police raid, but that wasn't against like super villains, it was against the henchmen.
right, but yeah, and right, but just like in these, I'm just talking about like 4, 5, and 6 here. We
Oh,
only
I get
have
what you're saying.
one,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, we only have one fight, but you're not feeling like, oh my God, like we're not just getting the action, like we're not seeing enough of the spider,
We don't feel like we're
Spider.
missing it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. I mean,
for
like
sure.
again, you have 4 where he's fighting Mega White. You get 5 where he uses his web to lower the files, and then in 6 you get more of the flashbacks of like the things that he had to endure, and like
Right.
like that kind of stuff. The background a little bit more going on with it, like a little bit the more of the history fleshed out, and like him create his joints creaking, and him constantly wanting to be in a spider position. And so it's like, even out of 3 episodes you only have one Spider-Man fight. It's not, you're not bummed out, like you're still like, oh my gosh, I mean, kind of engrossed in the story to the point
Right.
where that's right, he is a spider, and we haven't really seen him he doesn't constantly need to be shown using his powers over and over again. They don't rely on that to be the crutch in the story.
Yep.
They actually made the story, and they sprinkle in the Spider-Man elements to it, which again, like I said, it's been pretty great. And
Yeah,
aside from annoying Megawatt, like
for sure. And yeah, it's just been good. It's been good to see the depth of the different characters that they dig into. Like looking at the main cast, obviously we've got Ben Riley. We've been digging more and more into him, but he's the main star. But learning more about Robbie and being friends with Ben Riley, but then being a reporter and just seeing him deal with the racism, seeing him connect with other Black people, seeing Kat Hardy and digging into her past and depth and past lovers and learning more about Lonnie. Not as much, but you're learning more about him. And then Sandman, we didn't get as much backstory with him, but you're still getting depth. So
right,
it's just seeing how quickly they've told this story, closed up loopholes, not loophole, closed up threads that they've started pulling, but also giving us a deep dive into most of the cast. And it, I mean, we said it with Welcome to Derry, we've said it with House of the Dragon. I don't necessarily love the 6 to 8 format of shows, but at the same time, I like it when you do it well. And
right.
this one is going into the category of it did the short format well.
Well, yes, like it the 6, 8 episode becomes a crutch when you haven't ironed out all the problems,
For sure.
and when you don't have a story there, or you're not fleshing out characters, you're introducing too many plot devices, and you're not going through them, and you're opening more than closing, and by the time then 6 hits, you're like, we haven't done, like,
It's just a
we haven't
mess.
accomplished anything. Like
Yes.
this, you at least as we're going through it, you feel a sense of accomplishment as we're going through it because things are being done. You know, like we understand this before we move on to this. We don't, and it may take like 2 or 3 of us, but I mean, I really don't think anything has gone more than like, I mean, yeah, we are getting this mystery of what happened to these POWs, you know, because we had seen the picture a few episodes back, like in 2 or 3 or whatever, when we dealt with Flint Marco, and then we were dealing with Lonnie. But I mean, it quickly moved through.
If I go back to the first episode and try to think of all the questions we may have had, it's, how did he get his powers? We've gotten that solved before the
Mhm.
finale. How did the other people get their powers? We got that solved before the finale. Who tried to kill Silvermane? We got that before the finale.
Right,
Um, what are they up to? Like, who's running the city? What's been going on in the city with Silverman and the mayor? They've dug into that, and like we know what's going on there. So it's like I'm trying to think of if there's anything that they kind of started that we still don't have and we wonder how Ruth died. We have that answer.
right.
Like they
Yeah,
have
that's
closed up everything they've started, and we still have 2 episodes to wrap up the overall story. That is how you do it.
right. I mean, that's like now you have the freedom to, and in full disclosure, I have not seen 7 or 8. Um, you do, at least I feel like in this without knowing, I feel like you are given the kind of the gift and the breathability to now use that space because you've got a lot of these plots answered and questions answered. Now you have like, if you want to use an episode where it's just it's all just fighting, okay.
Yeah.
Because to me, like a lot of it's been solved. Like there's no more, I'm sure there's some more mystery, maybe a little bit more, but ultimately, like what are they gonna do with the antidote? Okay, fine, yeah, we've got that. But
But they
ultimately now,
just pulled that thread. Like that wasn't an episode one thing. Like that is a brand new thread that they started
right,
pulling.
right. So it's like, okay, but you at this point you still have 2 to do it with.
Correct.
And now you have the room to just kind of let these guys just kind of like cut them loose and let them be all fighty.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that because we've got stuff answered, like let them all come to a head, it all come to a boiling point and explode because the rest of the story has been dealt with. I'm good with
Yes.
that. It would have been worse if we had to feel like fight, constant fight, constant. And in the meantime, we were just getting sprinkles of the story here and there. We're dealing, like I said, we're going back, if you like I said, 4, 5, and 6. You really only had one big fight, and the rest of it has been dealing with the story.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm good with it. I think it's been a fun, very underrated because I still don't see it being talked about a whole bunch online. I mean, now granted, it's been out for a couple weeks now.
2 weeks now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I still don't see a lot of chit chat going on about it, but I really enjoy it. I think they have moved through everything pretty quick. I think they've given you good backstories with everybody. I think they've kind of rounded out characters, understand everybody's kind of personality. Whoever, I mean, even if we hate Megawatt, we understand his personality.
According to IMDb, the lowest rated episode is episode 1, and that is 7.9. Everything else, right. Everything else is 8 and above. None of them hit 9. The finale is 8.9. Episode 7 is 8.7. And that's with
That's
33,000 reviews, about
that's
8,000 per
still
episode.
pretty high.
Yeah.
That's still pretty high.
I think episode 1 should at minimum be an 8. To me, I don't think anything was below an 8. 7.9 is like basically 8, but it's
Right.
7.9.
Right. And that might have been like people rating it before they really understood, like, again, like we talked about before, like you kind of like, why is he so over the top with his
Right,
accent, the way he's talking? But even that is answered for you. Like you
for
get
sure.
that in a brief kind of like him explaining like
Yeah.
after I was bit, I had to become more human. I had to regain what it was like. And we see him even in the one episode struggling with being human, just even just sitting on a gurney, just
Yes.
trying to be normal, like, and him not knowing what's going on with himself. So really enjoy it. Looking forward to the finale. So glad that this was not skipped and this was watched really fast.
When I first heard about it, I was curious but excited, but I thought it was going to be a story about the animated version of, like, I knew it was going to be live action, but I thought it was going to be that character. Then as it got closer, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's a different Spider Noir, but it's voiced by Nick Cage." And I was like, "I'm still going to watch it, but like, okay." And I think they may have lost some people because of that, but having watched the whole thing, I love the direction they went with it, and I hope the people that may have lost interest in it because it wasn't a Spider-Verse story, I truly hope that they go and watch it. Because
Yeah,
I was disappointed when they said that. I'm not even gonna lie, I was. And I still
sure.
think they could have told a good story doing that. But they did a phenomenal job with this, and I hope more people go and watch it. Like I said, it's got 33,000 reviews. Average is 8.3, or no, that was for this episode. No, average episode for all was 8.3 overall. The lowest rated is a 7.9. The highest rated is an 8.9.
That's
So,
great. I
yeah,
mean, crazy to believe that it took Nicolas Cage 62 years to give us a series.
insane.
I mean, now that is on him for never
True,
agreeing to it
yes.
and turning it down. And but like, thankfully, he wisened up and saw the light, and maybe we'll get to see more of him do this kind of stuff. I would love for them to do another season. Like,
Yeah, same.
give us another crime story.
And like you said, you have the ability to, I mean, when they did the POW flashback, you saw plenty of thick creatures in there, but also showing that they were able to do that means that there could be in a different story a non-POW. It could just be another Dr. Faber somewhere
Right.
that finds out about it because of Robbie's story and is like, "Oh, you're telling me if I go get a dog or whatever, and I can like you there a rhino and a human, like you could make rhino, like there are a lot of things that they could do. I think
Yeah.
they've left the door open. There it wasn't a very open and shut, like the main story they told wraps up, but there is an easy way to keep it going.
Oh yeah, because I mean, like that you can't. I mean, like Indiana Jones spent so many movies dealing with Nazis. I mean, like just in this, you can't tell me this was the only time the Nazis experimented on humanity. Like
Right.
they did with Captain America, they did with Red Skull. You know, like they did with Bucky. Like there's plenty of times where the Nazis were experimenting. Like
You
doesn't
can
mean
go back to the
only
Call of Duty,
can't.
the video game has been going back to that well multiple times for like 20 years now. It's like, oh, new
Right.
video game. What are we doing? Oh, there's a thing where the Nazis were doing experiments. Like, oh, we're doing that again. All right.
And it works because it's fine. You
Yes.
know, like it's an easy villain. Everybody's supposed to hate Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah. Supposed to.
But but yeah, I think they could definitely do it and just make a different kind of crime story. But I mean, again, if this is a one and done, then we've been blessed with what we've gotten from it. So a very unique kind of Spider-Man and stuff. So
For
yeah,
sure.
good. Our next episode is going to be on 7 and 8, the finale, and just kind of our general overall thoughts about it. And kind of just looking forward to House of Dragon, and as the summer goes on and some of the bigger blockbuster movies are coming out, just kind of getting around and talking about them. But yeah, so we're gonna end that one today, and we will see you next week.